This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon. It's Wednesday, November 26, 2025. And continuous voter registration is still ongoing, so if you haven't signed up yet, it's still a good time to do it and get ready to vote. On the news this hour, Rivers State University students protest over continuous attacks. President Tinubu applauds release of 24 schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi and orders security lockdown in 3 northern states. Rivers TUC gives truck drivers 21 days to move to official motor parks. Wike faction of PDP files case in Abuja to stop INEC from recognizing Ibadan Convention. At least 4 persons are dead after a fire incident in Hong Kong. Details of these and more after this break.
To thrive in a fast-changing world.
Tune in to 92.3 Nigeria Info. Keep your dial locked for sustainable development.
Back. Let's begin the news from right here in Rivers State. Some students of Rivers State University at the Emoha campus protested this morning at the school gate over continuous armed robbery attacks on student lodges outside the campus and attempted rape of female students. The student marched to the house of the paramount ruler of Emoha Kingdom, Oha Sergeant Awuse, to complain. They told our correspondent that the latest attack happened around 3 a.m. today. According to them, masked robbers entered a lodge where 3 female students stayed. They said when a neighbor tried to help the girls, the robbers used a machete and stabbed him many times. One of the female students whose room was attacked spoke to a correspondent.
We were still in the kitchen, we were shouting, calling to begging them. But they still came to the kitchen, we refused to open the door. They decided to pass through the back, that they will come to the window and come and meet us if we refused to open the door. That was one of my classmates. He heard the noise. When immediately they noticed that somebody was coming out from the house, they attacked the boy, beat him. They came with matches, they cut the boy all over his body, entered his house, robbed him, collected the money and his phone. That was when they later came back to our house again. Before then, they started making alarm. Then people came out. That they ran away.
The male student who was stabbed while helping the girls also spoke.
I heard loud noise. So when I heard the noise, I came out to check what was happening. When I came out to check, from robbers, they started beating me. I was the only friend in the compound. So when they finished beating me, they very broken in the girl house and they took my phone and some of my properties. When they finished beating me, they went to that place. Why they were about that was when other people came out and they ran away. I was trying to defend the case to the compound. I hammer to scatter their protectors. They used their check on me.
Now, some other protesters say they are no longer safe in the Emoha campus and want the school to move them back to the main campus in Port Harcourt.
I'm in community and I'm not safe. I use one eye to sleep every night. Nobody is safe. Everybody now is cautious, being cautious. Nobody sleep well as students are. And we go to class every morning. And this kind of incident is happening. We don't know we don't know the people that are involved in this. They usually wear masks. Nobody knows whether they're community member or they're coming from another place. And it's always students. It's not their community, it's always students. Still rape and even assaulting students by stabbing them.
I want the school authority to move the school from Emoha. The community is not safe, so main campus. They can just be walking on the road and one of their indigents will call you. You refuse to answer, they will try to attack you. Somebody has response to me. He called me, I refused to answer him, and he tried to attack me.
Now we need to leave this place. That is the key point. We need to leave this place. The place is no longer safe for us as students. When we it was not like this, but now it's turned to something else. Who knows the next person who has to be ready?
When contacted, the Vice Chancellor of the school, Professor Isaac Zeb Obibi, promised to get back to Nigeria Info with a response, but adds that he is in communication with the protesting students. Still talking youth matters, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has promised to provide a proper state secretariat for the National Youth Service Corps. He gave the assurance while hosting the NYSC Director General Brigadier Olakunle Nafiu at Government House. The governor also says he will address other pending needs of the scheme. He thanked the NYSC for choosing Rivers State as its regional headquarters and pledged to support a quality regional office.
are aware that we have been blessed with a regional office because it's an opportunity that comes to our state. This is not the only state in this region. It can as well be sent to any other, but for it to be allocated to River State, I think is a special honor that we need to cherish with all our heart. So whatever that is required of us to do to make sure that we establish a fitting office and provide enabling environment for the officer to operate to do that. We've started the process already.
In his remarks, Brigadier General Afiu thanked the governor for making the state welcoming for corps members and praised his continued support. Let's leave River State for a bit and bring you some national stories. President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the release of the 24 schoolgirls abducted in Maga, Kebbi State last Monday. The girls were taken at dawn on November 17th, just moments after a military detachment left the school. President Tinubu applauded the security agencies for the effort that led to the girls' release. He is also urging them to intensify operations to rescue the remaining students still in captivity. He says he is relieved that the 24 girls have been accounted for, adding that the government will deploy more boots on the ground in vulnerable areas to prevent further attacks and will provide all necessary support to security forces. Meanwhile, the governor of Kebbi State, Nasir Idris, says no ransom was paid for the release. He noted that the girls were released through the efforts of security operatives, adding that they will be handed over to their parents today, Wednesday. In a related story, President Tinubu has ordered a full security lockdown across forests in Kwara as well as parts of Kebbi and Niger State after a wave of kidnappings and terrorist attacks. Now, his media aide, Sunday Dare, says the president is directing the Air Force to maintain round-the-clock surveillance to support ground troops and help track down the attackers. Communities are also being asked to report suspicious movement as security agencies push to rescue the hundreds of victims abducted in recent days. The attacks include the abduction of more than 300 students and staff in Niger State and multiple kidnappings in Kebbi and Kwara, echoing Nigeria's long-running crisis of mass school abductions. Similarly, let's inform you that sadly, one of the parents of the abducted children from the St. Mary's Catholic Church in Niger State is dead. The father of three of the abducted children died of a heart attack. This is according to the Christian Association of Nigeria in Niger State. Meanwhile, some other parents of the children kidnapped from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State are pleading for their release, with one father saying his 4-year-old son is so young he cannot even speak. Terrorists seized more than 300 children and teachers last week in one of the country's largest mass abductions in recent years. At least 50 of the students escaped, but more than 265 remain in captivity. Some of the abducted children are nursery school age, and parents say they have no information about their condition. We're not done with stories about abductions. This time, let's inform you that terrorists have attacked a Saba community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, abducting 11 residents. Witnesses say more than 20 gunmen stormed the area with a large herd of cattle, firing shots and injuring an elderly woman with a stray bullet. A community leader says 7 of the kidnapped victims are from the same family, including a pregnant woman, 2 nursing mothers, and several young children. Bullet holes were found on buildings and expended AK-47 shells littered the community after the attackers fled, while police have yet to comment. The incident comes 2 weeks after gunmen struck a nearby church in Iruku, killing worshippers and abducting dozens who were later released. And in more sad news, at least 8 people have been abducted in a late-night attack on Mbirisawa village in Kano State and Sayawa local government area, heightening fear across nearby communities. Residents say the armed attackers struck around midnight on Monday, taking men and women before fleeing toward neighboring Katsina State. Several other villages, including Sarmawa and Yanchibi, also reported raids the same night, with more people, mostly women, believed to have been taken. Police spokesperson Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa confirmed the incident and said investigations are ongoing to determine the exact number of victims. Still talking security, Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives Conservatives Benjamin Kalu is proposing penalties for government officials who negotiate ransom payments within the next 6 months. Speaking at a special security session, he raised concerns over rising insecurity and says the law will help curb criminal activities. He also wants improved policing, including fast-tracking the creation of state or local police forces and equipping security agencies with modern tools. And our security analyst Stanley Nsifo says Nigeria's insecurity persists because the presidency lacks the political will to address it. In a chat with Nigeria Info correspondent Emekotoka, Nsifo argues that clear direction is needed from the nation's leadership, and insists that withdrawing police officers from VIPs will not solve the problem.
The president giving the directive to withdraw all policemen attached to the VIP will not bring the solution to insecurity in this country. I've said that before. Until the government and the president decides to be intentional and decides to not play politics with security, then we can achieve a crime-free society. Withdrawing policemen from VIP, we've heard that severally. IGs upon IGs have done that before. None of them yielded any result.
Meanwhile, a former Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Gabriel Denwa, says Nigeria cannot negotiate with groups he describes as killers. He tells Channels Television that no patriotic Nigerian should be discussing peace deals with armed groups.
I don't see reason with what Nigeria is passing through for any patriotic citizen of Nigeria to be talking about negotiation, peace deals with people who are killing and maiming our communities and our country. You see, the danger of having peace deal with terrorists is, what are these bandits fighting for? I think that should be the question we should ask.
Denwa expressed concern over the recent capture and killing of Brigadier General Musa Oba, noting that lawmakers are now expected to encourage young people to join the military despite worsening insecurity. Now, the Federal Capital Territory Administration says it has not ordered the closure of government secondary schools on November 28th, describing the circulating report as false. As FCT Minister's media aide, Lere Olayenka, urged parents, students, and school officials to ignore the rumor, saying the academic calendar remains unchanged and security measures have been strengthened. He explains that the minister, Nyesom Wike, has already directed the resumption of Operation Sweep and other security initiatives across the capital. Olayenka also confirms that the mandate secretary for education, Dr. Danlami Hayo, has been suspended, while the director of school services will face disciplinary action. We'll go on a short commercial break. When we return from this break, we'll tell you about an ultimatum given to tanker drivers and heavy-duty operators in River State. Details of these and other stories coming your way after this break. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Now, the Trade Union Congress in Rivers State is giving tanker drivers and heavy-duty operators 21 days to move to designated motor parks and stop parking indiscriminately. Now, State TUC Chairman Josiah Ugochukwu says the directive is meant to protect residents and keep the state orderly, warning that the current parking habits are a public nuisance. He insists that after 21 days, the union, the Ministry of Transport, and the police will begin enforcement.
That 21 days ultimately is a grace period where all the owners of those accumulated vehicles will be given the opportunity to do the needful. Before we embark on this press conference, we've been able to visit so many of them. If after these 21 days and nothing is done, there will be a massive collaboration between the law enforcement agency, River State Ministry of Transport, and other agencies that will saddle with the responsibility of getting this people off the road so that we restore sight in our motoring. You know, their presence was a very serious danger, not just to human life, but destruction of government facilities.
Correspondent Emekotoka reports that the TUC chair also promised to help resolve issues between civil servants and the state government over the contributory pension scheme and other workers' concerns.
We are coming in, there will be massive collaboration between River State government and organized labor. The Trade Union Congress, the NSC, through the Nigerian Civil Service Union, to make sure that the welfare of River State workers is taken care of. The Trade Union Congress will not shy away from its responsibilities. As we came in, we noticed quite a lot of things, especially the contributory pension scheme that Joint Public Service Negotiation Council had been on it, will be part of the process so that the needful will be done.
He further commended Governor Fubara for what he calls workers-friendly policies, improved investment, and the 4 billion naira matching fund with the Bank of Industry to support small businesses and create jobs. Let's now take a trip to Ikwere local government area. The chairman, Charles Wobodo, says he is not satisfied with the slow pace of work at the 14 classroom block under construction at Omopo Elele. During an inspection, he says the contractor should have started plastering and landscaping by now, warning that if he returns on Thursday and the project is still not ready for handover, the commissioning will be pushed to next year, which is the commissioning deadline. Now, from Ikwe, we proceed to Eche local government area, where the chairman, Chima Boniface Njoko, has inspected 2 new graders that will soon be deployed to open up and expand feeder roads across the local government area. Njoko reminded residents that during last week's flag-off of the Mbak clan reconnection to the national grid, he said the machines would hit the roads once the dry season begins. He adds that each grader will be assigned to one of the 2 constituencies in Eche to make sure all feeder roads become motorable. And now straight to political matters. The Nyesom faction of the PDP is asking the Federal High Court in Abuja to stop INEC from recognizing the party's national convention held in Ibadan on November 15 and 16. In the suit, the faction and its leaders, Mohammed Abdurrahman and Samuel Ayamu, want the court to void the convention and all decisions taken there. They also want INEC and security agencies barred from recognizing newly elected factional leaders, arguing that the convention violated 3 court rulings that halted it.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
At least 4 people have been killed in major fire that swept through apartment blocks in Hong Kong. Authorities say 2 others are in critical condition while 1 person is stable. The fire service tells the BBC that one of the victims is a firefighter, and earlier reports suggested some residents were trapped inside, though it's unclear if anyone is still in the building. Images from the scene show flames racing up bamboo scaffolding surrounding the blocks. Well, that's the news this hour, but before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. We brought you a report of protesting students of the River State University in Emoha who are complaining of persistent attacks. We told you that President Tinubu has applauded the release of 24 schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi. You also heard that the president has ordered security lockdown in 3 northern states, Kwara, Kano, and Kebbi, as fresh attacks has resulted in the abduction of at least 19 residents in Kwara and Kano state. The news is edited by Ufuma Iwamano. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.